chatty tonight. It's okay. We're going to start now. So come onto your back, and let's start there, right? You can lay flat on your back, or you can have your knees bent, whatever feels better to you. I'm going to flip on the night light here on the video so that you guys can maybe see a little better. We're going to take our first few moments just to arrive. Bring your focus to your breath. Let your breath take over. Let yourself just arrive on your mat, wherever your mat is. You're here in the studio, maybe you're at home. You're outside on your patio. It'll probably be nice tonight. Just let that focus come to your breath. Let your breath push out all those other distractions. Just fully present to practice wherever you are. Not thinking about everything that happened to you earlier today, not scrolling through your to-do list, not thinking about getting up and making dinner once you leave here, right? You're just here, present to your practice. That's what we want, that's what Yin can do for us. When you're ready to start moving here, you're just going to take the knees, hook them into the chest. Just a couple lumbar circles here, just to start out. 3 or 4. Take the knees to the right, push them away from your body, and to the left and back in. Circle around that sacrum, the lower part of your back. A couple more times. And eventually, bring those knees back into your chest. And we're going to go the other way. Just circle around. Few breaths that way. We're just slowly waking up the spine here. So it's easier for us to move into all of our yin positions. Now, bring your knees back into your chest here. Now we're going to rock up to seated. So you can take your hands to the crease of your knees and rock up, or you can just roll to your side, whatever feels better to you. Come all the way up, and then bring yourself into tabletop, that hands and knees pose, right? There's a lot of times tonight when we're going to be on one knee or the other. So if you need a blanket for padding, you can grab one. Right? If you're here in the studio, grab one. If you're at home, right, it's not that you need a specialized yoga blanket. You just need something to make your knees comfortable. So maybe you grab a cushion off your couch, or the pillow from your bed, or the comforter from your bed, right? It doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're feeling comfortable here when you're putting some pressure on your knees. Take a few cat-cows here as we start to move. Right, as you inhale, lift your chin to the sky, tuck your tailbone under, let your belly drop. That's cow pose. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest. Round out your back, hollow out your armpits. That's cat. Just keep moving here. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now you can be going faster or slower than me. As you do these, you can be going faster or slower than anybody else here. Just move with your breath. One breath, one movement. Eventually, meet back in our neutral tabletop. Now this time, as we come to our neutral tabletop, right? Now you're gonna do a few hip circles. So we're still waking up the hips. We're gonna do a lot of work with the hips tonight. Bump your hips over to the right. And then from there, Let your hips come back. Put your right hip just outside your right heel. Scrape them across your heels. Bring them to the left and then back up. So you're just circling around. As you push that right heel over your right heel, your shoulders travel back behind your wrists. Just do 3 or 4 circles just like this. And eventually we're going to come back up to tabletop and we're going to go the other way. Bump your knees over to the left, drop them down so that left hip comes just outside your left heel. Scrape them across your heels, bring them up to the right. And just do a few circles this direction. And now let yourself come to a stop here. And now from here, take your right leg and just extend it long behind you. So your toes are on the mat and you're pushing that heel towards the back wall. From there, take your right foot, step it out to the side. Here. You're going to take your right hand, wrap it around behind your back, and then take that right foot and just put it next to your left hand. And then unwind your right hand. Drop that right hand outside your left hand, outside your right foot. You're going to tuck your left toes under. Just move that left knee back a little bit so that it's back behind your left hip, right? So you're not right on top of it. You're not at a 90-degree angle. You're more in a lunge. We're going to come up here. All you're going to do, take your right hand to your right knee, and take your left hand to your left knee, or to your left knee. Take your left hand on top of your right. Push yourself all the way up. So you've still got that right knee right over the right ankle, but your hands are pressing into your knee. It's like you're pushing down on your thigh, and you're trying to push that knee forward past your ankles. So let your arms straighten. Take your chin, your gaze up to the sky. 2 more breaths here. Maybe bend a little deeper into that right knee. That left hip flexor open. And then from there, let your hands come down. You're going to push your right leg all the way straight. Let those right toes come up off the mat and come into your half pyramid here. So square off your hips, push that right hip forward, draw that left hip back. Lower your belly over your right thigh, stare at your right knee. You can do whatever you want with your hands. Maybe reach them forward a little bit. Start to open up the upper body a little more. Maybe you want to keep them back by your left knee or your hips for some stability. It's all good. And the more you drape your belly to your right thigh, the more you're going to feel the sensation in your right hip. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Walk back forward, bend back into that right knee. Bring yourself back into runner's lunge with your hands on either side of your right foot, and just push into your palms or your fingertips, whatever's touching the ground. Lift your chest up, look up, right? Just opening up. And then from there, let yourself relax down. Now we're going to step back with that right foot, bring ourselves back into tabletop. And we're going to try all that, go in the other direction. So take your left leg and extend it long behind you so your balls of your toes are pressing into the mat. You're pushing that heel towards the back wall. You should feel this opening in your calf. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. Just push through that left heel. Right? And really start to feel it in the left leg. And then from there, you're going to take your left leg, step it straight out to the left. Take your left hand, wrap around behind your back. And then bend into your left knee and put your left foot right by your right hand. Came into that runner's lunge. Unwrap your left hand, bring it outside your left foot. Now, tuck your right toes under, take a few little inches back with that right knee so that your right hip is in front of your right knee. So this lunge position. Now your left hand's gonna come to your left knee, right hand goes on top, push yourself up so your arms are straightening, you're leaning back. It's like you're pushing into your thigh, you're pushing down, but you're also pushing that knee away, like you're trying to push it past your ankle, but there's some resistance there. Look up. So your chest is opening, that right hip flexor is opening. 3 breaths here. your belly, come back down, drop your hands on either side of your left leg, and then kick that left leg straight. Let your toes flip up off the ground, right? So you're taking that half pyramid on the side. Make sure you square your hips, right? So don't lean to the right. Draw that right hip back. Draw that right hip back. Push that left hip forward. Drape your body as much as you can over your left leg. Nose towards the left knee. So you're keeping your back nice and flat. Again, whatever you want to do with your hands. Get that sensation going in your left hamstring. And then from there, bend into your left knee. Bring your left knee right over your left ankle. And then from there, we're gonna step it back, come back into your tabletop. Right, this time, get into that perfect tabletop. Again, your hands are shoulder width distance apart. Your knees are hip width distance apart. Your hips right over your knees, your shoulders right over your wrists. Now, bump your hips over to the right here. And then take your gaze over your right shoulder, like you're trying to see your hips back behind you. Maybe you can. And then bring it back to center. Now bump your hips to the left and look over your left shoulder. Now bring it back to center here. And then bump your hips over again to the right. This time as you're bumping your hips to the right, take your gaze all the way back over your left shoulder. So you're looking the opposite direction from your hips. Bring it back to center, and then we're going to go one more time the other way. So you're going to bump your hips to the left. This time you're taking your gaze over your right shoulder. So in the opposite direction from where your hips are. And bring your hips back to center, look back forward. All right, now from here, we're going to come into a hip opening sequence. So we get to start with pigeon, right? Don't be afraid of pigeon, it's gonna feel good. So you're gonna move your right knee forward to your right wrist. You can always take the deer once we get fully into it if that's what you wanna do, right? Move your right knee to your right wrist. Walk those right toes across towards the left edge of your mat. And then tuck your left toes under, so you're picking your left knee up. You're starting to move that left knee back behind you. Dropping your right hip, or your left hip, sorry, towards your right heel, right? Now, before you go all the way down, which I know you all wanna do, right, push up and look up. And take your hands a little bit wider. Maybe come to your fingertips. And just gonna do, I call these waves here, right? You're gonna bend your elbows. You don't have to tap your forehead to the mat like we did the other day, right? Just lean down and then kind of push yourself up. Just do that twice more. Bend your elbows, lean down, pull your torso back through, straighten your arms. Do it one more time. Little wave. And then this time, you're gonna let yourself come all the way into your pigeon, right? So you're walking your hands, bring your right hand inside your right knee, right? So don't keep it over here, right? Keep it inside your right knee. Left hand comes parallel. And you're just walking your hands out as far as you can. Maybe that's all you can do. Maybe you drop down to your elbows. Maybe you drop it down to your chest, your forehead. Now, if this doesn't feel good to you, do you hate pigeon? Right, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna let yourself come over onto your right hip, then bend into your left knee and pull that left knee against the sole of your right foot. Bring your hands in front of your right shins. You've got to bring that right hand inside the right knee, just like in a pigeon, and walk it forward here. Maybe to your palms, maybe to your elbows. Right, you're still going to get that sensation in the right hip. So we're going to take a minute or two here. It's a deep hip opener. We're going to do a whole series of hip openers. Your hips are going to feel so good once we're done here tonight. Right? But pigeon is an intense hip opener. It's one of the more intense, so you're going to feel it right away, especially since this is the first real one we've done. We did warm up our hips a little bit, right? This is the first one where we're sitting, being still with that sensation. So let yourself feel that sensation. Just breathe through it. If you need to back it off, you can back it off, right? How do you back it off? By taking that right heel back towards your groin, right? That backs it off a little bit. If you need more, you're like, hey, I'm here, I'm not feeling anything. Keep walking those right toes as much as you can towards the left front corner of your mat. You'll feel more sensation, right? If you're like, okay, I've got my foot almost all the way back there and I'm still feeling too much. Come up to your palms, bring your hands in, right? The more upright you keep your upper body, the more you keep those right toes pointed back, the less sensation you're going to feel. The more you lower it down, the more you take that foot across, the more you're going to feel. There's no right or wrong, just what your body's feeling tonight. So we're going to take about 30 more seconds here. Stay in the pigeon for 2 more breaths. This next part we're all going to do the block, so I'm going to run over and grab one so I can get one to myself. We will have one. If you don't have a block, you can do this next part with a cushion or a blanket or with nothing, right? I'll show you all the available options. All right, so when you're ready, you're going to come back up to your palms, right? Now, from here, once you're up on your palms, everybody's gonna let their right hip come to the ground, even if you haven't already. Now, you're gonna have that block by your right knee, all right? Now, you're gonna lean all the way over to the right, so you can swing that left leg around. You're gonna cross your legs here. Now, what we want is for that left, or that right shin to stay parallel to the front of your mat. You're gonna take the left foot, you're putting the left foot on top of the right knee, but you're not nestling it in here into the crook of your right knee like we're doing a lotus pose, right? We're not doing that. You're gonna take your ankle and put it on your right knee. So your left ankle on your right knee, like your foot's hanging off, right? Now, if I had perfect flexibility, there'd be no space here between my left knee and my right ankle, right? But I don't, so there is. So here's where we have the options, right? One thing I like to do, you take the block, so I had you all get it, put it in front of your right knee, or if you have a blanket or something, fold it up, put it in front of that knee, and then just slide that right foot forward. The right foot rests on the block. So the ankle is still even with the knee, right? But you've slid it a little bit forward. Maybe that's more comfortable. If this still isn't comfortable to you, right, you can just take it into an easy sit, and that looks like this. Just make sure the left foot is in front of the right, right? So you can be an easy sit, if you can be in the full square, which is with the leg hanging off, right? Sometimes people like to put a block in between the space between their left knee and their right ankle. I don't particularly like that, but it's an option. A lot of people think it feels good. You can do that, or a blanket, right? All different variations. So I want you to find what feels good to you. Now, what are we going to do here? You're going to take your hands up to the sky, turn your palms towards me, and then just fold over that left leg. Right? So walk yourself as far forward as you can. Maybe your hands just came down in front of your shins and there's no walking forward. That's okay. Okay? Again, now you're going to feel that sensation. It's going to be a little more intense in the left hip, the top one. Just allow your body to feel whatever it's feeling. Wherever you're feeling that deep sensation, if you're feeling that deep sensation, as you inhale, send the breath right to that place. And then as you exhale, allow that spot to release. Body will slowly relax more into the pose. You get that release. If you keep your focus on the breath, if you use your breath. We'll take another minute here. All right, now slowly bring yourself back up. Right now, from here, this block, you're going to take your left foot, just put it on the ground, like mine is right now. You're going to slide that right knee around. Now what you want is for your right knee to point towards the front of the room. And you want that right heel to come around back behind or outside of your left hip, right? That's the best way to put it. Now, you could just step your right foot over. Maybe you look like this while you do that. That's okay, right? Or if you can, grab a hold of that left ankle and see if you can pull it back so that your knees stack up on top of each other. So your left heel comes outside your right hip. So you look like this. This is the cow face pose. Now again, if I have perfect flexibility, there's no space between my knees, right? But for a lot of us, there is space, and that's okay. If you feel comfortable here with your heels tucked in against your hips, even if you got a lot of space here, more than me, it's okay, right? If you need to, plant that left foot on the ground, right? If you still need to, take that left foot in front of you, and it can look like this, right? So these are all the different options. Now, from here, you're going to take your hands up again. Now, we're going to walk it forward, right? So you're trying to fold over your left leg, letting your hands come down to the mat in front of you. And then you walk it out. Maybe you kind of hook your chin over your left knee. I'm a little stiff today. On a good day, I can do that. Today, I can't. It's all right, right? Be where my body is. Again, you might look like this. Maybe you have your foot on the ground and you're just pushing your belly against that left thigh. That's okay, right? Or maybe you've let that left foot come forward. Looks like this. You're just walking forward. All good options. Another 30 seconds here. Back up. Now, keep your legs where they are, whatever variation you took, right? We're going to take a little twist here. We're going to twist to the left. So you're going to bring your left hand back behind you, and you're going to take that right hand outside your left knee. So you look like this. Now, maybe it feels good. You can do these prayer hands where you kind of place that right elbow right on the left thigh, and then you bring the right palm to the left. Kind of press into it, take that left elbow up to the sky. It looks like this. Right? It's a deeper twist. If you want to, just keep your hands extended, right hand to the ground, left hand back behind you. Take 4 more breaths here. Not staying as long in the twist as we stay in the rest of them. You still got a lot of sensation going on in your hips. Yourself untwist all the way here. You're coming back. Now you're just in those cow face legs here. You're going to come around, unwind that left leg all the way. Bring it back behind you, and we're just going to come back into our tabletop. Right, so you're bringing yourself back into tabletop. Now, once we get here, we'll do this in between. You're going to take your right leg, step it out to the side again, right? So we did this before. We're coming back into that runner's lunge position. So once that right leg's all the way out to the side, take the right hand, wrap it behind your back, step that right foot forward. And then take your right hand down. Now you move that left knee back a little bit. Right? It's even more important in this one that we move that left knee back so that your left hip is in front of your left knee. Bring both hands inside your right foot. So you're just right here. Now, from here, take your right toes, turn them out towards the right side of the room. And then you're going to kind of let that right knee fall open a little bit. Maybe you take your right hand, push it just for a breath. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But then from wherever you are, you're going to take both hands to the ground. Now, you're just going to walk yourself out a little bit further, right? So maybe you come down to your elbows. Maybe you keep it on your palms. Just take 4 more breaths here. When you're ready here, if you came down to your elbows, bring it back up to your palms. Turn those right toes back towards the front of the room. And then you're going to step it back, bring it back into your tabletop. All right, so now we're going to do all those poses we just did on the left side, right? So you're going to take your left knee, slide it up to your left wrist. Start to walk it across here. So you're walking your left toes across towards the right edge of your mat. Again, maybe you get it further on the left leg than you do on the right. Maybe you don't get it as far. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfectly parallel. It's just parallel as your body wants to go. Now, tuck those right toes under. So walk that right knee back so you can drop that left hip toward your right heel. Right? You want a little bit of space in that left hip if you're coming into full pigeon to feel the sensation in the left hip. Now, we're going to do those waves here. So take your arms out super wide. So now your fingertips are coming outside, your left foot outside, your left knee, right? You're pushing up, and then you're just going to bend the elbows, drop your forehead toward the ground. It can come all the way, but it doesn't have to. And then push yourself up, right? So it's like a little wave. Tuck your chin, drive your forehead down, scoop it up. Do it one more time. Tuck your chin, drop your forehead down, scoop it up. And then from there, you're going to bring those hands back so that your hands are between your left knee and your left ankle. Then we're coming into full pigeon, right? So you can walk it forward. Maybe you drop your elbows. Maybe you come all the way down to your forehead and your chest, right? If you need the deer, then you let that left hip drop all the way. Bend into the right knee, pull that right knee against the sole of the left foot. Bring your hands in front of the left shin and walk it out here. It's here. So you can be in deer, or you can be in pigeon. We're going to take another minute here. It takes us a little while to get into pigeon, right? To find that edge. So once we find it, we need to spend some time there. Ready, come back up to your palms here. Right. Once you've made your way back up to your palms, everybody's going to let that left hip come down, right? And then you're going to lean way over to the left so you can swing that right leg around, and it's going to come in front of you. Now we're going to come to that square pose on this side. So again, you can use your block, put that block by your left knee, right? What we're going to do here, you take the right foot, you're putting that right ankle on top of the left knee. And even worse on this side. My right knee's way up. So I look like this if I do it without any props. Right now I can still do it, right? I can just bring my hands in front of my right shin, walk it forward, and it's all good. You can get that sensation. If you want to, you take that block in front of your left knee, slide that right foot on top of the block, makes it a little easier to get a little further forward. Maybe that's what you want to do. Like I said, your other option is just to come into straight easy sit, this time with the right leg in front. Walk it forward. Right? Now you're getting some sensation in that right hip again. Right? We did everything on the left side in a row, really, right? So we did the pigeon on the right side, but we did square, and we did that cow face. Those are both more intense in the top leg, which ended up being our left leg. But now we're going back to the right leg, right? Sometimes in the right leg you can get a little deeper than you can on the left. Most times you can get a little deeper on your right side. It's one of the reasons we almost always do the right side first. Right? You can go a little deeper and then your body feels warm and it knows what it's doing. It gives you the chance to, when you get to your tighter side, which for most people is the left, right? Your body knows where it's going already. It's not afraid to push a little deeper into its tighter side. But we've done all these poses on one side or the other, right? So your body's ready. Let it take all the space it can. That's okay. Right, now we're slowly going to come up here. Right, if you've got that block, slide that leg off the block. And now put your right foot flat on the ground. You're going to turn that left knee towards the front of the room, bringing that left heel around so it's outside your right hip. And then you're going to step your right foot over, right? And maybe you stay right here. Maybe you can grab a hold of that right ankle with your left hand, pull it back by your left hip. Again, I have more space on this side. I shouldn't say more space. I have more space between my knees because I'm not able to go as deep on this side as was on the other, right? So you might be the opposite, right? You might have a little tighter space here, right? You can put a block there. Like I said, your option is to keep that foot planted here or here, right? And then you're just going to bring yourself all the way forward. So you're taking your hands up again, dropping it down, walking it forward. So putting your belly right on that right thigh. Maybe as we do this, you should feel the sensation more in your right hip. It's not that we're not getting any stretch in the left hip, because we are. So notice that. Another 30 seconds here. And let yourself walk all the way up. Now, as we come up here, now we're going to take that twist. This time we're twisting to the right. And so you're turning your torso to the right. Maybe you just take that left arm outside your right knee, reach that right hand back. If you want to do the prayer twist, you place that left elbow on top of your right thigh. Bring the right palm to the left. Take that right elbow up to the sky. So it's like this. Deeper. If you don't like that, your arms just extend. Four more breaths here. Bring it all the way up. Now, we're going to unwind here, around into tabletop. Right? So swing that right leg around. Just bring yourself back into tabletop. All right, now, we've got to come in to that runner's lunge one more time to get that hip flexor stretch. So you're going to take your left leg this time, extend it long behind you, wrap the left hand around your back, take that left foot out to the side, and then step it in, bring that left foot right next to your right hand. Drop your left hand down, and And then tuck your right toes under, move that right knee back a little bit. Right, so that your right knee is back behind your right hip. Bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. Now here, we turn those left toes out slightly to the left. Let the knee fall out to the left. So it looks like this. You take your left hand just for a breath, push it open. Skip that part if you want. And then both hands come down inside your left foot. Now you're walking it forward if you can, right? Maybe all you can do is take a little step forward with your palms. Maybe you can get it all the way down to your forearms. When you're ready, bring it back up to your palms. And then slowly turn those left toes back towards the front of the room. We're going to take it back into our tabletop here. Now, once you get to tabletop, let your hips come down to one side or the other. Right, we're going to lay all the way down on our back here. So you're going to bring your toes to the top of your mat. Take your arms long. And then just lay all the way down on your back. Right now from here, take your right leg and just hug your right knee into your chest. Take your left leg, extend it long. So you want your left heel on the ground. I'm trying to get some frame. You can see my left heel, but it's on the ground. As I'm hugging that right knee into my chest. So ankle your right knee slightly towards your right armpit. Just pull really hard. Get a little bit of sensation there. Now you're going to keep your knee coming into your chest, but kick that right foot up and flex your foot. I was watching this video the other day, the lady said it's like doing a lunge upside down, right? So think of that. That's one way to think of it. And then you're going to take your right hand and reach for your right foot. Maybe you can't reach your right foot, maybe you just grab your ankle or your shin or your knee, and that's all good, right? But you're going to pull down on that right leg. You're pulling your right knee down towards the outside of your right shoulder, like you could touch it to the ground. So we're in this half happy baby. So you just stay there for 4 more breaths, really pulling down, using the leverage of your hand to get that knee a little bit deeper, to get that hip, flexor, the inside of the hip, a little bit more open. See how it's this exposed here, so I remember. All right, now from here, right, you're going to take your left leg. Now put your left foot flat on the ground. So bend into your left knee, put your left foot flat on the ground. And then take that right leg and just cross it on top of the left. And so your right foot's coming to the left side of your mat. So you want to be knee to knee here. You don't have your ankle on your knee. You've got your knees crossed, right, like you're sitting in a movie theater. Now, pull your knees, both knees, into your chest. Your right leg should be closer to your body. Once you pull those right knees into your chest, you're going to grab here onto your opposite ankle. So I'm grabbing my right ankle with my left hand. I'm grabbing my left ankle with my right hand. And I'm going to keep pulling those knees in towards me. I'm going to start to pull the feet away from me. So as my knees come towards me, really my feet go out to the sides. Feel that deep sensation in your right hip. This is called paperclip. We're just going to hang out here for a minute. If you want to back it off, you let those knees come a little bit further away from your body. You let those feet come in a little bit closer to your legs. If you want more, keep pulling those knees in closer to your body. Keep pulling those feet away from your body. Take about 4 more breaths here. pull into your body as much as you can. Release your feet here. Take your arms out long in a T position, right? So we're gonna take a little twist here. I'm gonna let both knees come over to the left, right? So that left knee is kind of pushing that right knee over as my knees drop to the left. Doesn't matter if they don't come to the ground, they probably won't. And then you're gonna take your gaze over your right shoulder. If you want to, you can take your left hand, press on that right knee, bring it down a little bit more. You're gonna feel this outside of your right hip. Maybe feel a little bit on the inside of your left hip too, just strengthen your body. Take 3 more breaths here. And then pull your knees back up to center. So that left foot comes back to the floor. Now just take your right foot down and join it. So back here. In this constructive rest position, let your hands come to your sides. Now from here, you're going to take your right leg, extend it all the way along, so your right heel's on the floor. And then take your left knee, bring it into your chest. First, just take both hands around that left kneecap and left shin. Hug it all the way in. Let that knee angle over towards your left armpit, sorry. So it's coming off center from your body. Just help you get into the hips just a little bit more. Take 3 breaths here. And then release your hands. Now you're going to keep a little bend in your knee, but take your foot up to the sky and flex your foot towards the ceiling. So it's like that upside down lunge that we did on the other side. You're going to reach up with your left hand towards your left foot. Maybe you grab the foot, maybe you're just grabbing onto your ankle or your shin, but you're pulling that left knee down. But you can see better on this side. I'm starting to bring that left shoulder down, or that left knee down towards the outside of my left shoulder. Right? I like to keep my right hand on my right hip. Just remind that hip to kind of stay down, pushing down on that right hip, pushing the right thigh towards the ground. Everything to open up here. Two more breaths. And from there, you're going to bend into your left knee, into your right knee. Put your right foot on the ground. And then you're going to release your left foot, and you're going to cross that left knee over the right? So you're knee to knee here with your legs crossed. From there, pick that right foot up, draw both knees in towards you. Your knees come towards you, that left leg is closer to your body. Now you're going to grab your left ankle with your right hand, grab your right ankle with your left hand, and then we're coming with that paper clip on the side. So you're just pulling those knees in towards your body as much as you can. Pull those feet away from your body as much as you can. So you're getting that sensation right in the left hip. Four more breaths here. Now, ankles of your feet. Take those arms out long again. This time we're dropping the knees over to the right. So you're using that right leg to kind of pull that left leg over and let both knees fall to the right. Keeping that left shoulder anchored, right? Maybe you take your right hand and press that left knee down a little bit more. It doesn't feel good, you don't have to. The left hip's definitely up off the ground. So we're getting that stretch on the outside of the left hip, mostly. And it here. One more breath. Now when you're ready, pull those knees back up to center. Now you're going to unwind your legs while they're still up in the air, right? Now you're going to separate your feet a little bit. We're going to come into a full happy baby here. So feet are up to the sky. You start to reach up with your same hand now for your same foot. Maybe you got to bend your knees more. Maybe you separate your feet more. Maybe you bring your knees closer together. Or straighten your legs more. Right? It's up to you. Find your nice happy baby. Roll forward. You want to make sure you feel that sacrum, the low part of your back pressing into the mat. Then you can rock from side to side. Give yourself that little spinal massage. Should feel good. I always tell you guys, happy baby should be the happy part of your practice. You want it to feel good. So you can change your leg position once you're here, so that makes you feel better. Make it that happy pose for you. Feel nice, delicious. Give yourself another 30 seconds or so here. When you're ready, right, let your feet come down to the mat. So release them with your hands. Let both feet come down to the mat. Back into that constructive press. So this is going to be the last pose we do before we go into Shavasana. We're going to come to a reclining down ankle. That means you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out to the sides. Right? So I'm just doing the basic one here. Hands are on my belly. Knees are falling open. If you want to use your blanket and put it underneath your back or underneath your head, you want to use a block, and put a block or two blocks underneath your thighs or your knees, you can do that. Okay. Or you can just stay right here. If you don't have any props and you're like, this is too much for me, too much sensation for the end of class, push your heels a little further away from your body. Make more of a diamond shape. It'll take a little pressure off. Right? Feel like you need that intense sensation. Pulling your heels in close to your body. If you want your hands at your sides instead, if you want your hands out to the sides or overhead, do all that. Maybe you take your hands and press on those inner thighs and those knees. Give yourself a little more sensation that way. All good options. Shavasana. Some people love Shavasana with this bound ankle position. If that's you and you want to stay right here, you can stay right here. Maybe make it a little more comfy, whatever you want to do. Right? In your traditional Shavasana, you're flat on your back, so you extend your legs and let your hands go to your sides. But again, if this isn't the most comfortable position for you, you don't have to stay here. You can also bend your knees, let them fall in against each other. Right? Or maybe you roll to your side or onto your belly. It doesn't matter, right? Just find somewhere to be where you're perfectly comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still. Most importantly, where your mind is going to be able to go perfectly quiet for these last few minutes. Your breath can take you there to that quiet of the mind. This is Yin, so we didn't spend a lot of time controlling our breath. You definitely don't want to start controlling your breath now. Really trying to let your breath go, but you're trying to follow it as you let it go. Right? Keep noticing what it's doing. Let it take you down that path. It'll take you right to a place there's something left in your mind. But you and your breath, that's where you want to be. That's your true quiet of the mind. Slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths here. Just reacclimate to our space. Let the sights and the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. When you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated, and we'll close here. So we're going to close with our two Bhamari breaths, and then an Om. The Bhamari breath we inhale. As we exhale, with the little humming sound in the back of the throat, and the Om is the universal syllable that uses all parts of the throat. So you can join me in these breaths, or you can just listen. Let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this evening. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. So I will be back on Saturday for some more slow flow. I'll be here for slow flow Saturday morning at 10, so come join me for that, or I'll be here for gentle on Sunday at 10. Kelly should be here tomorrow morning, I think, with some dance, so come join her for that. 9:30. Otherwise, I will see you guys all Saturday. Bye.